Cue the music. The boys are back in town. We are finally back after a long hiatus. Welcome back, y'all, to the Bench Talk Sports podcast. It's your host, your boy Troy, and the co-host with the most, Timmy B. What's up, man?
What's going on, buddy? How we doing?
You know we're doing great, bro. We're world champs.
Let's
Se-
go.
Seahawks got the ball across the finish line, man, and made it happen. The dark side defense and Sam Darnold.
And Sam Darnold. First off, love the name Dark Side Defense.
When did they even adopt that? I missed that part where they started calling themselves. This was like late in the season or something?
I only heard it in the postseason.
Okay, yeah. That's about when I picked it up. And I was like, I figured, I don't know, maybe they came up with this like 2 weeks prior to the postseason. But
yeah, probably. But like, once you stop shaving your beard and growing the mustache and all that kind of stuff.
Is that the dark side?
Yeah, and I saw the latest Sports Illustrated has like 3 defenders just tackling Drake May, and it just says "Welcome to the Dark Side" or something like that.
That's beautiful.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Just
that's
gorgeous.
Beautiful. Hey, we did all of America outside of the greater New England area solid. You don't have to watch another Patriots parade. And you've said, and I've heard others say it's too soon post Tom Brady for the Patriots to start another dynasty.
It's not fair. It's not fair. They don't get another dynasty 5 years after Brady leaves. Like that's not okay.
That's not okay. We can't have that.
No, they had 20 years of dominance. Suffer like the rest of the league, go 10, 15 years, and then you can have your dynasty back or whatever.
Hey, they're not even suffering, though. I mean, they got back to the Super Bowl. Drake May's going to come back. They will be back. I do believe this is just the beginning for the Patriots. I think they got the right operation going on with Mike Vrabel there. Another feather in our cap about giving up on your coaches too soon. When you got a good coach, figure out everything else. Don't put it on their shoulder and get them fired because your front office can't put together a team. I'm talking to you, Tennessee.
Right?
So, just another example of that. But, good for him because he landed in a good situation. What'd you think of the game? I know some people are a little bummed that it wasn't more exciting for the first 3 quarters. I love a good defensive battle. I thought it was great, but
I wasn't very nervous for this game, and I don't mean to sound like arrogant or cocky, but I really wasn't. I looked at the Patriots are a good team. They're a good team.
Yeah.
They didn't really have to go through anything. Their biggest challenge was the Texans in the second round.
Right.
And that was a solid Texans team, great defense, struggling offense.
Yeah.
And New England handled them, but Denver,
CJ Stroud really gave them that game.
Yeah.
He caught that game up. And then they get the Bo Nix injury.
Right.
Things really aligned for the Patriots to get us far, which it has to be that way, right? It's rarely the very best team. It's oftentimes the best team that's the healthiest that gets to the championship round. It felt like the Seahawks were a great combination of both of those things, and that's why I was with you. It was hard to feel not confident, but anything can happen.
Anything can happen. You never know, but it was definitely confident. And then when we're kicking field goal after field goal after field goal, it's like, all right, you guys, we got to put one in the end zone. Come on. But then you're watching that defense and you're like, it might not matter.
It might not matter.
It really might not matter.
Yeah. They were locked in.
They were completely locked in. McDonald had them ready to go. And it was just, it was an impressive performance. I know a lot of the country, I read all this stuff. They're just like, oh, that was so boring. And that was so this, and that. You know what? I get it. Outside of Seattle, that game definitely could have seemed boring. I totally get it. Just like the last time we won the Super Bowl, it was 43-8 against the Broncos. Everybody was bored. We loved it, of course. But you can't always have a good, close, tight-knit game. And, at the end of the day, we won by 16 points. And, it should have been bigger than that, but it wasn't. And the Patriots just, they had a good year. But it was for some odd reason, it was just an easy AFC. Injuries destroyed the AFC this year.
Yeah.
And, we had a good schedule too, but we had to go through the NFC West 3 times.
Yeah.
To
battle
get here.
tested.
Yeah. And so it was just like, by the time we got to the Super Bowl, we're like, We got this. We just beat the Niners twice, and I know they were
Yeah.
injured, but they're still the Niners. They still got
Yep.
CMC. They still had Purdy. They're still got, they're ready to go.
Kyle Shanahan's gonna have his team ready to play every week.
Absolutely. And then
Yeah.
you got to go through the Rams again. And that game, to not have a single point scored in the fourth quarter was just wild.
Yeah, that was wild.
And then
That felt like the Super Bowl, to be
it
honest
was
with
the
you.
Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Whoever won that game was going to win
it's
the
gonna
Super
win.
Bowl. That was a
Yeah,
hands down guarantee.
yep.
And so we were battle tested. We were ready to go, and New England wasn't, but they're young. They'll get back
Oh,
probably.
absolutely. Well,
Um,
yeah, probably,
Probably.
probably.
I mean, I actually just went through dinner tonight, and I was going through with my son the salary cap for next year, and Seahawks are in great shape, but there's a lot of AFC teams that are not in good shape,
This is true.
and
That was.
they're
Oh,
going to
go
be
ahead.
hurting.
Well, to that, I was looking through the salary caps. I think it was last week or something, and it's interesting how many teams that were in the playoffs this year were in like the bottom 10 of spending money.
Yeah,
Did you notice that?
I did, and I think what it's a testament to is the league is starting to figure itself out a little bit. And what I mean
Yeah.
by that is defenses are starting to figure out the offenses a little bit. Because I know there's only so much you can do on each side of the ball with the X's and the O's, but you can be creative. With the offense, you kind of know what you're getting. I mean, sometimes you have,
Uh-huh.
these shenanigan plays that take a while, but
Yeah.
if you look at the last few drafts, minus what year was it 2 years ago with all the quarterbacks when no offensive player till the 20th pick or 25th pick or whatever it
Yeah.
was. Um, It really has been defensive minded, getting that young talent in there on the defense to really just adjust to your scheme.
Yeah.
And defensive coordinators are getting super tricky, and they're becoming the more often the head coaches, and they're just it's just this league is turning defensive minded. They all want points. Everybody wants points. That's why they make the changes to the kickoff and all this kind of stuff.
Right. Right.
But I mean, look at the Chiefs and Andy Reid. Like, they really haven't changed their offense in 5 years. It's kind of the same stuff.
It's
And
true.
people are starting to kind of figure
Yeah.
it out a little bit.
Especially as your personnel changes, right? You lose a
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill, and so you don't have that unique skill advantage that you used to have. And all things considered, yeah, it's tough to score in the
Yeah.
National Football League right now. There's so many great athletes on that side of the ball. You're right. A lot of great minds scheming stuff up. Um, and it's a lot different than college football, where because of how many schools there are, right? There's just way more schools than there are NFL teams.
Yeah.
Talent's going to be a lot more spread out. It's going to be a lot easier to score on offense. And then you get into the NFL where, it's the very best. Only the best of the best are going to make it. And there hasn't been enough quarterbacks that have come through recently to elevate, right, the
Yep.
offenses to keep pace with how defenses are going. So, um, yeah, and I don't know. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing or just a thing. It just is what it is. But we're in the midst of it, and we got ourselves one hell of a boy genius
Hey.
leading that team and that defense in particular, and our
Yeah.
boy McDonald there.
All 38 years young of him.
Yeah, yeah. Just the complete opposite of Pete Carroll, man.
Oh,
He's so
bipolar opposite.
he's so like I don't want to call him dry. He's just like,
He's
yeah,
vanilla. He's very vanilla.
he's vanilla. He's
Yes.
vanilla. But it works. He lets his guys be them,
Yeah.
and the culture seems to be in really great shape. Um, they're so they're mostly young, right?
Yep.
There's a lot of like, hey, this could be the start of, whatever.
Right.
Um, but they have some positions in my mind that they've got to address. So I wanna go over that with you and get your thoughts because as it stands right now, we're already gonna get in the offseason talk. Let's just get into it. Um, we don't have a running back, right?
No.
K9's a free agent. Charbonnet's gonna miss most of next season, if not all of it,
Yeah.
with his injury. We need a center. We need a right guard.
Yes.
We need another wide receiver and we saw that play a part, I think, in, give New England its credit, great defense. But with Christian Gonzalez doing his thing on JSN and then JSN getting hurt, we don't really have any other, unique wide receiver matchup type guys. You know
No.
what I mean? You look at Devontae Adams and Puka in on the Rams and just their ability to go out and make plays on their own, huge catch radiuses, just get the ball in their vicinity, they'll make it happen. We don't have a lot of that. So we need another wide receiver.
No. We need someone, and I know they kind of expected Horton to be that guy, and he
Right.
got hurt and all that, and he still could be. I mean, he was a
Yep.
find in the
Yeah.
5th round. He
Yeah.
was a find, but he's not going to be that. But you got enough money. You got so much money
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you can go out and get some kind of wide receiver. And I haven't looked at the free agent market yet because I'm still jacked up about the Super Bowl win and all that kind of stuff. But I am concerned. We talked about this a little bit via text earlier in the week. I am concerned about the draft pick status.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah. We
we
got
we
what,
have
four
4
or five?
picks.
Four right
4.
now? Yeah.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, and 7, I believe, or 1, 2, 3,
Okay.
6,
Yeah.
something like that.
But you got to know Snyder's going to get more. He's going to find a way to move
He'll
around.
find a way to get more, but we're a little bit just that's a little bit scary there, but we'll get it
Well,
figured out. And we got the money to get it figured out, but we definitely need running back, wide receiver.
yeah.
Got to figure that out.
Well, and I want to. We got to do better at center. We got to do better at center. And Anthony Bradford,
Oh,
God bless him.
he tries, but
He tries. He didn't keep us from winning a Super Bowl, so there's that. But we could use an
you can only
upgrade
run
there.
off the left side so much. But
Exactly.
how
Exactly.
about that left side? Young, locked
Oh
in for
yeah.
years to come.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about the old school Walter Jones, Steve Hutchinson kind of days, potential. I know
Yeah.
Charles Cross ain't Walter Jones, but Zabel looks good, especially as a rookie. He held his own.
Oh yeah.
Cross, we just signed him to that big contract, and he's locking it in. He's doing good, and they're both young.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and Lucas is still there too. I mean, he's right in
He
his
just got to
prime
stay
on the red
healthy.
side. He's just got to stay healthy.
Do you
So
see him
so
hit his head on the streetlight during the parade?
no.
Oh my God, he was in one of the double-decker buses, and he's cheering on, and then they go through a streetlight, and he just bonks his head, and the streetlight's shaking, and
Oh,
like, oh, and I'm just like, oh great, now he's gonna be out next year with a concussion.
God, I guess this is the right sport for him. That they just give him a couple of months of recovery,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he'll be out there. Yeah, the metal poles aren't too forgiving.
No, no, they're really not. But it was he's got the skill set to just dominate.
Sure.
But it's that right guard, that center. We got some holes to fill, which is a great feeling to have. You got this team that went 14-3, won the Super Bowl, and still has some holes that they got to figure out
Still has
with
some
the
places
current
to
roster.
improve. Yep.
Yeah,
And this is a good draft for it, man. There's some good centers.
yeah,
There's some good interior guys. There's a couple of receivers that I'm looking at that could probably be, second round, third round guys. Um, on the defensive side, we're gonna need another corner.
yeah.
Can't see Reek Wallon coming back.
Bye.
Yeah, I know.
Don't let the door hit you.
All the Hawk Nation is pretty much unified on
We're
that
done with
one.
that guy.
That he can go ahead and I hope he lands somewhere and
Yes, of course.
gets his money and whatever. Um, I
Probably
think
Las Vegas. That's fine. Have fun.
I could see him there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Clint knows enough to be like, no, no, I'm not gonna do that. Um, and then I think we could use a pass rusher, man. Even though we showed it and bits and pieces here and there, really good pass rusher would
I
round that defense out.
I'm a little less worried about the pass rush
Okay.
actually.
Okay.
There was times throughout the course of the year I was like, we need another edge rusher, and it can't hurt getting another one, of
Oh
course.
yeah, you can never have
But
enough good guys.
we're stout in the middle.
Yeah.
Our linebackers are impressive, and they can all rush the quarterback. What our problem was, or what that happened a lot, was that we were just playing a lot of 4-man rushes.
Yeah, that's true.
Zone coverage, drop 7, whatever. And that's the scheme, and that's fine. It worked. but you're not gonna get a lot of pressure. So, against Drake May, I don't think they really once you pressured him, he was done for the game. Like,
Yeah, yeah, he
he
didn't
was
handle
out
that
for the
well.
count. Witherspoon just, took him out of the game
Yeah.
basically. But I feel okay with the edge rushers. Like, we
Okay.
could always use one. No team cannot use another edge rusher. I'm excited to see what my guy Riley can do. I mean,
He looked good, didn't he?
he looked good, and he hasn't played since what, December? You know, um,
The
he was out all year.
a whole year, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
like December the
For
previous year.
this guy was a first, I believe it was first. He was an All-American.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Either first or second team doesn't matter. You're on defense, you're in the top 30 in the entire country
Right.
as a defensive player, and you slip to the 5th round because of an injury, and you look good. I mean, he bull rushed the
Oh,
heck
dude,
out of that left guard.
dude's arms look like tree trunks.
They really do.
You know.
And so I think you got some pieces there.
Totally
Um, I'd like to see them really focus on wide receiver. And if they can't pick one up in free agency, get one in the draft
in the
and
draft. Yeah.
running back. I mean, you and I have talked about a few running backs we like a
Yeah.
little bit later on in the draft. Name slipping me now, Virginia.
Was that Jamari Taylor?
Jameer Taylor. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. Big
Yeah.
fan. Watching his tape, I had goosebumps. I was like, man, this guy behind an offensive line, NFL offensive line could do some work.
He'd do some work. He's going to be really good value to whoever lands him, probably in the middle rounds.
And he
Uh,
ran like a
uh,
4.33 40. I'm just obviously not the combine, but in
yeah,
college, like a 4.33 or 4.38. That's speed.
that is speed. He's moving.
So,
Well, to that measure, my boy Jadarian Price
oh
is who I
yeah.
like a lot out of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see what he runs because he's known as a pretty explosive guy. Um, Combine's right around the corner in a couple of weeks, so that'll be fun. It'll be interesting, of course, to see the time of the skill guys.
Yeah.
We definitely need to add to the offense because I don't think Sam Darnold has reached his ceiling yet, man.
No, I don't think so either. I think he was just a late bloomer. He
Yeah,
really was. The
yeah,
NFL game is so much different than the college game, and he wasn't stellar in college. He was good. He was very good in
he's
college,
really good.
but
Yeah,
he wasn't stellar.
right.
He didn't like when in, I don't know. I never really was sold on him in college, and it just took him a little bit of time
Yeah,
to figure things out, and I think he is figuring it out. And honestly, I know this. I'm beating a dead horse, and people talk about this all the time. Who would have thought out of that quarterback
yeah,
draft class,
yeah.
he'd be the guy?
He'd be the first one. Was he the first one to get a chip or just
I, I think he
over?
was the first, at least the first rounder. I mean, you had Baker, you had Josh
Uh,
Allen, you had Lamar,
yeah.
and he just beat them all to it.
What a hell of a draft class. I mean, we felt that way at the time, but like for it to actually pan out that way is
Yeah.
crazy. Because I mean, you look back just what 2 years ago with what the six guys that went in the
The
first
6 guys
round
that went the first 12 picks or
in the
whatever.
first 12 picks, and it's
Yeah.
already looking like real iffy for half of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's no guarantee you're gonna get but you got superstars out of that group when you think, especially Lamar and Josh, right? You got
Absolutely. Absolutely.
superstars. And then you got some really other great quarterbacks too. And for Sam Darnold, man, to be that guy, I mean, we used to laugh at Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
I'm seeing ghosts out here, Sam Darnold, and
Yeah.
it's still just mind blowing, man.
And to see his progression just from last year, yeah, he led the Vikings to a great regular season record,
Yeah,
but he lost the 2 games that mattered most. The end of the
yeah,
year game against the Lions, where they could have been the number 1 seed, and then the first playoff game. Now, granted, we didn't know Washington was gonna be as good in the playoffs as they were last year,
true.
but that's not the point. It's kinda like you that was Sam Darnold. Oh, there's Sam Darnold. That's Sam Darnold. That's his MO, and then he comes here, and I'm not gonna say he figured it out because he already had a lot of it, but
Yeah,
he kinda just the confidence that the team gave him, like when he threw those 4 picks against the Rams, and everybody was like, "Oh, here's Sam Darnold." Ernest
yeah,
Jones came out and said what he said at the podium yesterday, which is,
yeah,
"F you, that's my guy. You don't like it, don't be a fan. I don't care. Get out of
yeah,
here.
yeah,
That's my guy." And, the team really rallied behind him after that game, and they went on the run.
yeah. And
And
Sam,
I think they only lost 1 game after that.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe. Yeah, I think they just lost one game. I almost dare to say they've like won every game since then, but I think they did lose one.
Because
Uh,
they lost to the Niners the first week. They lost
right.
to the Rams with that one, and they lost to the Buccaneers. So that might have been the last game they
I think that
lost.
might have been the last game they lost.
And it was the defense, like I said, Ernest Jones, who I love personally. Again, didn't we get him from Tennessee as well?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, Tennessee, what are you doing down there?
and a former Ram.
Yeah, and a former Ram, but it's just
But
kind of
yeah,
like he's just
Tennessee,
like
yeah,
that's my guy.
and I think Sam needed that because he's been,
Yeah,
he's a human being, and it has to have been a struggle, even though I know there were people saying good things to him behind the scenes and trying to encourage him and stuff. The public narrative, whenever things seemed like the wheels were going to come off for him, you're right, was to throw your hands up in the air and say, "Yep, well, the bubbles burst.
yeah.
It's going to get ugly from here." But to see everyone here, and it was probably unfortunate that all that happened at the end of the season last year in Minnesota,
Yeah.
because that was the end of the season, right? Those
I mean,
last two
we all
games.
talked about he cost himself $100 million during those 2 games. We all
Yeah,
talked about it.
yeah. And there wasn't an opportunity for him to stabilize himself again and try to,
Yeah.
rally the troops late. Whereas that Ram game happened with so much of the season left, that, he was able to lock back in and
Mhm.
change his game a little bit. No turnovers in the
None.
postseason,
None.
which is just great. I mean, and I've heard, some people say they liked the way he played in the Super Bowl, and others be like, he didn't have a great game. I thought he had a great game because
Phenomenal
he
game.
because he did exactly what needed to be done to
Yeah.
get his team across the finish line at the big stage. They didn't need him to throw for 350 yards
No.
and 4 touchdowns. They just needed him to put him in a position to get enough points, make one big play, which he did to AJ Barner, and just take care of football and let the defense do its thing. That's beautiful. That wins you football games.
Absolutely, absolutely it does, and, you always talk about don't lose the game. In the
Yeah,
Super Bowl, that's the game you don't lose.
that's the game
You
you don't want to
don't
lose.
make mistakes to shoot yourself in the foot, and he did exactly what he needed. I mean, I just that scramble to get the first down where
Oh
he
yeah,
cut
that
back
was
in
great.
and
Yeah,
went
yeah,
across, like,
yeah. That was
he
huge.
he was huge, and he left it all out there.
Yeah.
He did great. He did exactly what he needed to do, like you said, and, man, I keep going back on that Barner pass, great play the play call.
Oh yeah, it was
I was
beautiful
watching
though.
some video.
Yeah.
That was the 3rd time they ran that same play with that same formation, but the first time they passed it.
Okay.
So they had run that same play, same formation, same motion, same everything. That was the 3rd time. 2 previous times they ran it. They up right up there and the linebacker got the tackle. This time, the linebacker snuck up to go make the tackle. Oh, actually, it's a play
Oh, they fished
action.
him out.
They were in
Okay.
man coverage. That linebacker's guy was AJ Barner. Kubiak, I'm gonna miss him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a
I'm
great
gonna
play
miss
call.
him.
Oh yeah, for
Like,
sure.
great play call.
Um, and it harkens back. It reminds me too of just touching again on what you just said about uh doing what needed to be done.
Yeah.
We're coming off the trauma of our boy Gino, who was famous for panicking and throwing the ball, especially when we were in the red zone, and just thrown in nowhere, except for where a defender just was standing there.
Yeah.
Um, and you saw that was the difference between a 9-8, 10-7 football team and a 14-3 Super Bowl winning team, was
Yeah.
just being able to say, all right, and play calling has something to do with that. Man, I'm gonna miss Clint.
Of course, it has something to do with it, but it's just a and people will say that that was a boring game, and that was just if you go back on previous Super Bowls, yeah, some are more exciting than the others.
Yeah, sure.
You do what you can to not lose the game because the end result, those players on the field, I I've never been one, of course, but I can pretty much guarantee they don't care what the public thinks about the game.
Oh,
They
totally.
don't care
Yeah.
what the play calls. They care about winning the game, what they have to do about doing their job to win the game. And if it's a 3-0 game, they don't care because they still won 3-0.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yep. That's all that matters, right? They've been
Yeah,
told that their whole sports life is whatever it takes to get the win. It isn't about the stats. It isn't about the
no.
highlights. It was just a good old school tactical battle for those 3 quarters, and then it got loose and
It got
fun and
exciting in the
exciting
fourth
in the
quarter.
fourth
I was
quarter.
actually a little bit like, I was sitting right here actually on my table, just kind of like,
Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
and then the
Same
little
there.
things just kept coming together.
But it was a new year. There was gonna be no interception at the goal line. There was gonna be no mistake.
No, no,
Uh, it's just crazy how methodical this team was and just handled business week after week when no one else believed in them. Um, yeah, man. 2026? No,
yep.
2025 world champs, I guess.
Yeah, 2025, 2026. Like, before we
Flags
get off
fly
the
forever.
Seahawks, what did you think about the MVP thing? Like, obviously,
Oh
K9 was
yeah.
going to win it. You knew he was going to win it. But was he actually the most valuable player of that game?
I didn't know he was gonna win it, dude. I didn't. I mean,
You kind of knew just based on his rushing and the stats, right? Everybody loves the
if
stats.
if there wasn't holding on that last big run for the touchdown, I would
Yeah.
have said slam dunk, but Jason Myers, man, I mean, I
That's
know
what I'm
nothing,
saying. Special teams, like, I know you can't
uh,
give it, it's not sexy. I get it.
but
But the whole
and I
special teams.
oh they were lights out. I mean, so Jason Myers, I know none of his field goals were particularly difficult, but you miss one or two of those and it changes the whole tenor of the game.
Yeah.
And then of course Michael Dixon
Michael Dixon. Just
showed
coffin
out.
corner after coffin corner.
I mean, one of the greatest draft picks we've ever had in this organization, probably.
Yes.
Is and probably go down as the best punter of our era.
Yeah.
Was a beast, so you couldn't begrudge that. Spoon made some of the biggest game-changing plays,
Huge plays.
and set the tone early with the sack, on their first
Yeah.
drive.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I honestly I had no idea. I was like, this could go one of those four ways, and then what K9 did, which even getting the MVP award, I don't know that K9's ever gonna get as much credit as he deserved for what he did, right? Because
Yeah.
he's been a timeshare running back the whole season,
Yeah.
right? And to step up because we were really worried when Charbonnet went down. That was the
Oh, we were like, oh crap, that could
oh
be the
crap.
season. Yeah.
That could be the X factor that actually costs us here as we're so close to the finish line. And and K9 handled business
Yeah.
in the NFC Championship game, and then he handled business in the Super Bowl, and he was like, "No, we're good. I got this."
We're good. Hey, look, I can be a 3 down back. Don't worry. My
Yeah,
my pass blocking's not the best, but that's okay. Just I can still kind of catch it, so we're all right.
yeah, I could catch it if I'm not having
Yeah.
to like turn for it or reach for it. I'm good, but Um, so I mean, it was just the amount of times he did get yardage when there was nothing there. There was
Oh yeah.
plays that not every running back in the NFL can make.
No, not at all. Some of his sometimes it looked like he was just kind of walking out there just waiting.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
shout out to that O line. They did create the holes that he needed, and they just they did great. I mean, everybody. It was great. It was awesome.
It was a great game, and I'll just say too. I want to say before we get off of it, I know we want to talk a little baseball and stuff. Um, I know Pete Carroll was somewhere probably with a single tier or two or three. Knee deep into whatever alcoholic beverage is probably of
Yeah.
his choice. Um, there was a lot of stuff in this team that Pete Carroll would have been very proud of. He had a huge hand. Seeing K9 do what he did, that's exactly what Pete envisioned him being.
Yeah.
Seeing him and Charbonnet become a
They.
lethal 1-2 punch
Yep.
was exactly what Pete envisioned. Jackson Smith and Jigba making plays all over the field. I mean, when you think about the team, it's a Pete Carroll formula. Dominant defense, strong running game. We pass off the run, we take care of the football. So, you
Yeah.
know, I just want to give Pete a little pat on the back that, I felt like he had some fingerprints on this thing. Even though he probably would not have coached this team to the
He would
results
not have
that
coached this team, but I completely agree. I completely agree.
so
Last thing before we get off the Hawks. What do you think about the whole ownership situation? What are your thoughts?
That's wild, man. I mean, I know it's in Paul Allen's will to sell have the team sold.
Yep.
Seems like the NFL wants to get a great valuation out there to because that raises the ceiling financially for all the teams,
They're talking
right?
like 8, 10, 11 million dollars or billion
Billion,
dollars.
yeah,
$1 billion.
yeah.
Like,
So but it's weird. I don't, the like pushing
yeah,
is kind of weird. I think it was really cool to see a woman holding that trophy as an
yeah.
owner. I understand she inherited the team and all that, but
I don't
that,
care.
yeah, that was cool. That was really
That was
cool.
cool. I'd love Jody to keep running the team if she could. Or
Sure.
owning the team. I think it'd be great.
Yeah, I would totally be down with that as well. She's got, she trusts the right people to do their jobs.
Yeah, they obviously respect the hell out of her. I don't know if you watched the parade or the
A little
ceremony
bit of it.
beforehand,
Yeah,
and they were all just like, "Jody, this was you, this was you, this
yeah,
was you."
yeah,
And I think what she did was the anti Jerry Jones. I'm not going to get involved. You guys are the ones we hire to figure this out.
yeah.
Go make it happen.
Do what you do.
But she interviewed Mike McDonald, and she was just like, she had to sign off on him,
Yeah,
and she did. And I like that kind of. I'm involved, but I'm not involved.
right, right.
So just do
We,
your thing.
we you're right. We see this with I know Jerry's the poster child of this, but we see this from a handful of other owners.
Yeah,
Um, I
Carolina's a big one. What's his?
oh yeah, yeah,
Can't think of his name.
David what's his last name? Tepper? Is it?
I think so. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's hands all in the honey pot.
Yeah,
John
just
Mara for the Giants,
yeah.
he's in the office every day asking what's going on and yeah, there's a few of them out there.
There's a few of them out there. So it's just, hey, I think it'd be cool to see her keeping the team if she could.
If she could, which I don't know, maybe there was some way they could do it, but
Yeah.
all right, good stuff, brother. I
All
know
right.
it. So begins the long night of the NFL offseason. Cool thing, of course, about the NFL offseason, there's always something going on. We got the combine, we'll have free agency, we'll have the draft. I love, by the way, that in the NFL they have free agency before the draft. I
Yeah.
so your teams really know what they need when they go into the draft, as opposed to the NBA where they do the draft
And then you
first,
have to fill out your roster after
and then
that.
you have to fill out your roster after that. I hate that. It was just
Yeah, because
side
then
note.
every team's strategy, like, oh, I've drafted this position for a reason because I know I'm going to go after this main free agent at center, let's just say.
Yeah, yeah,
And everybody else is like, oh, you're going for that? Well, I kind of want a center too, so I'm going to up the ante because I know you don't have the salary cap space. So
yeah, yeah.
it's like,
I would love to have a conversation too about that in pertaining to baseball because while I don't love the NBA, I love the NFL calendar.
yeah,
I love the NBA salary cap structure, even though I don't fully understand it. I like the NFL salary cap as well. If you notice when you were looking at going through the salary cap, like almost because there's a floor, there's a salary cap floor,
hmm,
and almost every team spends up to close to the cap at some
yeah,
point, in
yeah.
some way, shape, or form. Uh, I'm a big proponent that Major League Baseball, we're coming up on the next collective bargaining agreement, and I know it is sacrilegious for the players to consider a salary cap. But I am a massive fan of them accepting a salary cap with a strong salary cap floor. Because to me, my issue isn't with the Dodgers or the Mets spending all this money. It's about the 16 or so teams that are
Yeah.
spending less than $105 million,
The
some way less
Pirates,
than
the
that.
Marlins,
Oh yeah,
the
yeah,
Royals, you can go on and on and on.
the
And they're never,
Athletics.
unless they get a lucky year, they're never going to be a contender.
They're never going to be a contender. Yeah.
Yeah.
And even after, if they once all the young talent, that they've taken 10 years to accumulate and gets good, then they got to trade them all because
Yeah.
they're
After
not
one
going to reach
year.
after 1 year.
Yeah.
Um, so to me, I don't understand why this is so complex. the best players are still going to get their money, even with the salary cap structure, and very
Yes.
much like the NBA, where there's all these exceptions, right? Like
Yeah.
there's the apron, and there's all kinds of ways. NBA players aren't hurting for money. Uh,
No.
but it's about uplifting everyone else, right? All the middle class players, the getting more extensions for the younger players. This is what a floor does. So my proposal, as a way, because then the owners would love a cap, but they don't want a floor.
Right.
Uh, the players don't want either, I guess. But is to say, okay, set the cap at 240 million initially, set the floor at 120 million, and slowly bridge that gap so that they get pretty close to each other. Imagine if every team in Major League Baseball had to get up to 120 million spending wise. How much money that would pump so much money into players' pockets.
Yeah. It eventually would, and they just for some reason they just won't do it. And I gotta think it's ownership that the owners of those small market teams, they're just like they don't care. They're just about making money. They don't care about winning a title.
Yeah,
They don't care
yeah,
about putting a good product on the field. I mean,
yeah,
you look at some of the games of the small market teams, the home games, and yeah, it's April, it's cold or whatever, but like there's like 10,000 people in a 50,000 person stadium.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
empty.
It's
You're
dead. It's
not
dead empty.
making money off of that.
Right, right. So let me put this in perspective to you. If there was $120 million salary cap, all right, you would have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. You'd have eight teams, no, nine teams that would need to get up to that 120. Some of them significantly would need to spend to get
That's
up to that
almost a
100.
third of the league.
That's almost a third of the league. And then you'd have, let's see, one, two. There's three other teams that would be just above it. That would probably, would be okay. But you're talking about a third of the league
Yeah.
would need to have to spend some significant money.
Now, let me be the devil's advocate on that.
Okay. All right.
You're that third of the league that needs to spend more money. Why would you, when you have, even if you're forced to or whatever, when you have these other teams who are paying superstar players $2 million a year for the next 10 years, and then after they're no good anymore, paying them
Oh,
royalties
yeah. The
for the
deferred money.
next 40 years? You got to fix that too.
You got to fit. I agree with you.
You
I
gotta fix that too. I'm sorry, that is just, I mean, that's one thing the NFL does have right,
Yeah,
is their salary cap stuff. I mean, Mahomes is gonna make 78 million next year. You
yeah.
can't put Mahomes in baseball and pay him 2 million this year and spread out that 76 million left over the next 36 years.
Right, right,
You
right,
can't do that.
right.
And so baseball need to fix their contract situations.
I totally agree. The whole thing's a mess. The inequities of this whole thing, the deferred money, it's a freaking mess. And to me it's disgusting that some of these teams are not even trying.
No,
You
well,
got
they also
Cleveland.
don't have to, because they're
Yeah,
getting a profit share anyway from these
sure.
big teams that are
Well, they're
making all this money.
well,
So who cares?
they're supposed to. Part of the revenue sharing model is there is technically a floor, a spending floor. There is technically one in place right now. I think it's like your average over a 4 year period of time has to be like 90 million or 100 million or something, which is why the A's went out and signed Luis Severino last year. Uh, but
Exactly.
but there's so many ways to skirt that, and that's not strong enough. To see the Cleveland Guardians uh, extend Jose Ramirez and restructure his money so that it's basically a salary cut for the
Mhm.
team, and them to do nothing with that money, um, to go out and strengthen a team that he's been incredibly loyal to,
Yeah.
um, that's wild.
Yeah.
Just the what? So the billionaire owners can pocket more money?
That's all it is.
I'm just not okay with that, man. And if I were Major
I
League
don't know
Baseball
how as a
players, I
player
wouldn't
you
either.
are okay with that. How
Exactly.
as a player there are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Giving more money to these gazillionaire owners.
I
Like,
I'm not sure what they fear so much about a salary cap. I don't, the best players are still going to find their ways to get paid insane amounts of money, but you're talking about a handful of guys each offseason. You're talking, maybe up to 10 guys who are getting the big money. And then you've got 100 and I don't know, 50 other free agents who are fighting for the scraps.
yeah.
Uh, it can't be about protecting those 10. It's got to be about protecting the 150.
And that's where it's like, how can you not protect the majority? Like,
Yeah.
how can you not think about them? Is are baseball players so, greedy by nature that that's just how they are? And I
Someone's
don't know.
not someone's not explaining this math to them the way I
No.
think it should be. And I don't know if that's agents also being a part of this because, they get their best commissions off
Or
the
is there
massive
some
deals.
secret little thing going on? Because there's all these unwritten rules in baseball or whatever. Is there some
Yeah.
secret little thing going on? It's like, hey, we'll blacklist you like nobody's business, and you won't sign anywhere. Follow our rules. Do the owners and do they have that much power?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm
Yeah.
speculating,
But
but it's possible.
I tell you, the owners are in a great position when the players are when the prospect or the idea of the salary cap floor comes up and the players are saying absolutely not.
Yeah.
If I was an owner, I'd be like, "That's great, guys.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank
uh,
you.
I'll keep spending 60 million on our payroll, and you guys,
Bringing in 110 million from my profit sharing, and
sure,
we're
sure,
good to go.
we're good to go. Yeah, you guys don't even consider it. Just keep working on, what you can do so that the top 2% of you guys makes as much insane money as humanly possible. Okay, but so and then again, NFL players aren't hurting for money. All
No, no, no. None of them are. They're
none
not
of
hurting for money.
none of them are. I mean, and to see again, looking at even the worst teams in the NFL,
Yeah.
because the salary cap floor, I think, is like 90% of the salary cap in the NFL. I think it's like 88 or 89% in the NBA. So they're very close to each other,
Yeah.
right? So, whether you're a good team or not, you got to spend money. Now how you spend it, what decisions you make as a front office, that'll determine whether you're any good or not. But as we know, as you look through the NFL salary cap struck teams in space, there are a lot of bad teams who spend a lot of money, who are
We're
very
looking at
much
you,
in the
Cleveland.
New Orleans has been doing that for quite some time.
New Orleans
Uh,
actually has a lot of space, but we don't need to get into that. But
oh yeah, they
Cleveland's
finally
one
get
of
the
the
buck.
worst this year.
Sure, yeah. I mean, so at least, you know, no one's questioning why the owners aren't spending any money. Now, how they're spending it?
Exactly. How they're spending it is dumb, but you know, baseball's got to get this figured out.
Oh yeah, totally,
I
totally.
mean, otherwise you're going to have the same teams every year. You'll get one dark horse who sneaks in somehow because some rookie or some 3-year vet figures it out or whatever, but they'll get in and they'll make some noise in the playoffs, but at the end of the day, it's going to be the same
Oh,
teams
totally. Yeah.
every friggin' year.
And in the NBA, this is why a really great, smart front office like Oklahoma City could potentially build a dynasty. I know, painful as
Mm,
it is to
mm,
consider. But it is what it is. This is why the structure of these things really work. Before we go, because I know we're pushing up on time, and along these lines, I want to ask you about tanking, because tanking's been a big deal,
yep.
especially in the NBA.
Yep.
I have my thoughts. What I'm sure you have thoughts.
Oh, of course I have. There's lots of different thoughts you can have in there. First off, tanking in the NBA doesn't work because Adam Silver is going to give the first pick to whoever he wants to give the first pick to. Sorry, not afraid to say it. If I show up dead tomorrow, you know that somebody in the NBA watched this. Uh, um, there's got to be a structure to eliminate tanking, and I don't know what that is. NFL doesn't do it. I mean,
Right.
you see teams just every year. They've got the first pick. They've got the first pick. They win. They win. I mean, the Giants, they went from the first pick to like the third or fourth or fifth pick or something like that because they won a couple meaningless games. There's pride on the line.
There's very few
The
teams in the
draft lottery
NFL that are not
helps with
trying.
tanking.
There it
Baseball
is.
turned to it. Baseball turned to the draft lottery, and that kind of helped as well.
Ding, 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 ding.
So,
You hit on it, brother. You hit on it. You said you don't know what to do. You just hit on it. Get rid of the lottery.
yeah.
Period. It's that simple. Everyone's scratching their heads and da, da, da. And maybe it's because Adam Silver is like, well, then we can't push a Victor Wembanyama to San Antonio. But it's the easiest fix. Get rid of the lottery. You're right. Major League Baseball put in the lottery, and tanking is worse than ever,
Yep.
right? You're always going to have bad teams. There's no way the whole league in any sport is going to be legitimately going for it every single year. There's just no way. There's always going to be a handful of teams. So what you need to try to do is minimize how many bad teams are truly in the running for that top pick.
Yeah.
And if
What
you
do you
have
do?
a lottery, you're just incentivizing more teams, the teams that realize, oh, we're not going to make
To
the
suck.
playoffs, to suck.
Yeah. You
That's
got
it.
NBA, you got what, 12 teams or yeah, 12 teams. Major League Baseball, you have what, 16 teams that are all available for this or, for the lottery and all this kind of stuff. It's
Yeah,
like the worse I am, the more chances I have
sure.
of
Yep.
getting that first pick.
More bites at the apple to get the
It's
first or second pick. Yeah.
But what's the answer?
Just going back to the old tried and true method. Worst team gets the first pick, second worst team gets the second
Yeah.
pick, and so forth on. You're always gonna have bad teams. There's just no way to let. So again, if you're the let's say you're the 11th worst team,
Okay.
right? A lottery system, we still have a shot at the first pick in the draft. We've seen Dallas do it. We've seen San Antonio do it and get to with a 2% chance or whatever.
Yeah.
Get the first pick in the draft. If there's no lottery, what is my incentive? We might as well try to win. We might as well try to sneak into the playoffs and see if we can't, make something happen. Because we're not going to get a top 5 pick.
Right. But on the flip side of that, if you're 3 weeks in or a month in and you've lost your two best players to injury and you're going to suck, you're going to tank the whole year
Maybe,
to go for that
maybe.
number one pick.
But you might, I mean, it depends on timing. I mean, there's so many factors
There's so many
where
X factors. Yeah, I get that. I get that.
it's really truly in most leagues maybe 4 or 5 really bad teams in a given year, like just really
Right.
bad.
Throughout the
Uh,
course of the whole year. I mean,
Throughout the course of
different teams are going to have bad streaks here, there, whatever.
the teams that start the season off that we know aren't gonna, you know,
Yeah.
they're not gonna win anything. All right, let those 5 teams tank. Let those 5 teams dog it out for draft positioning. Everyone else, what's the advantage? Who cares if you're the ninth pick versus the 11th pick? Who cares if you're the eighth pick versus the 12th pick? You might as well try. If your team's healthy, you might as
Right.
well try to compete.
And
So
if
that's
by
my
some
thing.
chance you make the playoffs, that's extra games, which is
Sure.
extra fans in the stands, extra concessions. You still
Yeah.
more money you make.
There you
More
go.
TV rights, more commercials, the whole 9 yards.
Even if it's just one round, in a
It doesn't
couple of home
matter.
games. Yeah.
Best 3 out of 5, you're going to make a crap ton of money over those 3 games, even if you only get one at home. It doesn't matter.
And guess what? Sometimes, every now and again, that team's going to win. They're going
Yeah.
to win a series or two.
Look at hockey. What was it? A few years ago, Florida Panthers, they were like the
Oh,
last
yeah.
team in
Yeah.
and they won it.
Yeah.
It's just like all you got to do is get in. And so there's always that hope. All you
And the
got to do is get in.
And Major League Baseball has seen this before with wild card teams,
Yeah.
making it. The Cardinals won a championship as a wild card team. The Diamondbacks made it to the World Series as a wild card team.
Yeah.
So they have the evidence that a just above 500 team can make a run in the postseason.
Well, look at the NCAA tournament. You
Sure.
get those play-in games of the 12 versus the 12 or the 11 versus 11. How many times do those teams that win that game go on to make it to like the Elite Eight or the Final Four
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever because they had momentum? You just need to get in.
You
You
just
get
need to get
in,
in.
you win one game, and you never know what's going to happen.
But it can't continue to be we either we're either if we're not going to get into the postseason,
Then
then
let's
we
get a
need to
chance at
let's get a
having that high
chance.
draft pick.
We should shut it down, lose
Yeah.
as much as we possibly can, and up our odds to get a
No.
high draft pick.
No, gotta get yeah.
So
I feel that.
so that's just my thought.
Yeah, I get that. I don't
It,
disagree with that.
and also we're tired of the lottery shenanigans. I mean, God
It's
damn it,
so rigged. And until you put that on live TV,
right?
that's how you pick it. Until that happens, it's gonna be like, oh, we want the Magic to get Quiz Rubber next to Shaq. We want, the Spurs to get Victor. We
You know,
want
you
Dallas
know,
to trade away their star player to get the next star player. Like, come on.
if Wemby's got to go to Brooklyn, then he's got to go to Brooklyn. If that's the way it
Right.
is, then
You
that's just the
know?
way it is. But yeah,
When
yeah.
was the last
So
time you saw one of those low market teams actually get the number one pick?
it's been a minute.
The last one I remember was probably Cleveland when they got LeBron, and that's because LeBron was from Cleveland, so it was just a story tale,
Yeah, yeah.
ending. Like, you
Funny.
don't see the Charlotte Hornets ever getting the first pick.
This is true. This is true. Or
New
Portland.
Orleans Pelicans, they have like the best odds to make it, and they get the fourth pick. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah. But as long as you have a lottery, that doesn't even deter these teams
no, not
from
at all.
trying every year to be as bad as they can be.
Oh,
So, yeah, that was just my little rant.
yeah.
I appreciate you indulging me in that. So before we wrap it up, brother, anything else top of mind that you want to talk about?
No, I can't think of anything. I'm still jacked about the Seahawks. I'm ready for the
That's
Mariners
right.
coming in.
That's right.
Let's
Spring
go
training.
Mariners. Let's see if we can build off that momentum last year. The terrible letdown of the ALCS when we should have won.
Yeah.
And let's just see what happens.
I know we got a lot to cover over the next few weeks. We got to get back on our regular rotation. Spring training, like you said, warming up. NFL offseason is still going to be pretty fun and exciting. A lot to talk about there. NBA postseason's around the corner. So yeah, man, good times. And we might even be hearing soon about the possibilities of the return of our Sonics, man. Knock on wood. Right?
Yep.
So,
We'll see.
So we'll see. We'll be tapped in. We'll talk about it all. Appreciate you as always, brother.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me on.
It's been another episode. We'll call it a wrap. Bitch Talk Sports Podcast. See y'all in the next one.
Bye.
Peace.